right. So what are we thinking? Okay, we're going to talk about the tropics a little bit, Christian.
Yes.
And
Switching gears a bit here.
Yes. Flossie.
Flossie. Yes.
She's not a problem
She's
anymore.
not a problem
That's
for
good.
us, which is good news. So, as we take a look at our satellite here, we are looking at Flossie. Gotta love that name,
That name
right?
is woof.
It is quite the name.
Yes.
Yes. So the Pacific Ocean has had an incredibly active start to their hurricane season. Of course, Flossie, F name, A, B, C, D, E, F. They're on the sixth named storm of the season right now. Probably about to be on the 7th as we head towards next week there in the Pacific, while the Atlantic has, I'm not sure.
Oh, we'll check on the name.
We'll have to look on the, we'll have to check
curious.
the name for the Pacific.
Yes.
But yeah, we will be watching that closely. But yeah, kind of interesting to see how the Atlantic has had basically no real major storms, and the Pacific has just been pumping them out. But yeah, Flossie, Category 3 hurricane this morning, swirling off Mexico. Thankfully not going to be impacting anybody. So let's take a look at the Atlantic Ocean, which has seen a lot less activity so far this year. We've actually had 2 storms. They've snuck under most of everyone's radar here because neither of them were very impactful or really strong at all. We barely got Tropical Storm Andrea, had winds of 40 miles per hour. That's about as weak as a tropical storm can get for being named. It only lasted about a day, June 24th to the 25th. You can see that little red line there. It was in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. And then last week, we had Tropical Storm Beryl. This made landfall on the coastline of Mexico. Also as a very weak tropical storm. It also only lasted a day or so, June 28th through the 30th, with winds of 45 miles per hour. So while the Pacific has had multiple major hurricanes, the Atlantic, not so much. We've only had these 2 weak tropical storms. So while I wasn't sure about what is next on the Pacific list.
I have it here.
Oh, you do? Awesome. What is it, Katie?
Okay, it's Gil.
Gil.
G-I-L.
Gil.
I don't know. I kind of like Flossie, but
Flossie's better. Sorry, Gil.
All right, continue.
Sorry, any Gils watching.
Yes.
We like your name. Don't worry. For the Atlantic, though, the next name, Chantal.
Ooh,
I do like that one. That
yes.
one's kind of fun. So whatever our next storm will be, which it might be forming right now. We are watching an area for development off the southeast U.S. coast or in the far northeastern Gulf. This low pressure area that's developing will move off the coastline as we head into the weekend. We might be talking about our next tropical storm, Chantal. As we head into the weekend, development odds have been creeping up, so now up to 40% that we do see a tropical system developing here. And it likely would be moving away from the southeastern U.S., but keep this in mind for next week. Let's say you're heading down to Myrtle Beach, say, or maybe North Carolina, the Outer Banks, something like that. It will be close by, so we'll be closely watching that to see if a tropical system does develop. But models hinting at this potential probably would not be a strong storm, but a at least weak tropical storm will be potentially developing as we head into the weekend and early next week off the southeast U.S. coast. So we're going to be closely watching that potential. And that's very typical for July. Notice our tropical formation areas at the beginning of the month, right off the southeast U.S. coast. So very typical for that to be the spot where we see a tropical storm forming. And as we head through the month, notice how the Atlantic really picks up in activity by August 1st. Usually August is when we consider one of the peak months of hurricane season. So tropical activity usually really ramps up about a month from now. You can see that area where we see development really expands down to the south and along the east coast as well. So yeah, we'll be watching closely. Still not close to the peak yet, and kind of interesting comparing it to last year when right now we had Category 5 Hurricane Beryl in the ocean and the Atlantic down there. So yeah, kind of interesting how this year's been kind of quiet. We're happy about that.
Switch.
Yes.
I know. Well, you just never know.
You never know.
Yeah.
Right? All it takes is one storm. You know, who knows? A week from now, we could be talking about our first hurricane for all we know. So yeah, we're happy for the quiet, at least while we've got it for now.
All right. Sounds good.
And if you've got any weather-related questions you'd like to ask our Weather Authority team, you can always email us at weather@wgme.com.